Welcome back. In the previous class, we have studied about what are do-while loops and how do-while loop work. But after we have done all the three loops that are there present in C++, we have to have a clear idea about what are the differences between all the three loops. So today's class will discuss about what are the differences between for, while, and do while. So I'll let you know some differences. You can note them down or you can remember them because this will be very useful for you. Now the very first difference, which is obvious, is the syntax. So that I will not mention because you already know the syntax. All are different for all the loops. So syntax is one, but that is very obvious. The most important difference between them is for loop. We know it's an entry control loop, which I have told you when we were discussing about for loop. So it is an entry control loop, and moreover, while loop is also an entry control loop. But do while is an exit control loop. So this concept you can remember. Next difference, you can think that here initialize and update are the part of the syntax. When you write the syntax of for loop, we write initialize and update in the syntax. But here it is not the case. Same goes with here also. Or we don't write the initialize or the update in the syntax. Because when you write the while, we just put the condition inside it and the curly bracket. We don't have initialize or update. And this is the syntax for the while. So that is the concept. Here, that is one more difference. One more difference is here, when you finish the loop, there is no semicolon. Same here also, no semicolon. But here we do have one semicolon. If you have seen the previous lecture, in the while loop, at the end, we do have to give a semicolon for the do while loop. Next, if you consider for and while loop, if the first condition is false, then the control will never enter the loop. So if the first condition is false, then the control will never enter the loop. This thing is same for the while loop as well. But here, if the first condition is wrong, since it's the do while loop and which executes first time, it is not the case. It will run. Here, if the first condition is also wrong, still it will run or it will go inside the body, because since it's a do while loop, do always runs the first time, even if we don't have to see for the condition also for that. So these are mainly some differences between for loop and moreover while and do while. Here we have just understand certain things, that which is entry control loop, which is exit control loop, whether initialize and update is part of the syntax or not. So for the for loop, yes, it is, but not in the case of while and do while. And we don't have any semicolon at the end. Okay, we do have inside the syntax, but not at the end. I'm talking about the end here. So for loop, it doesn't have any semicolon at the end, and while loop, it doesn't have, but in do while we do have one. And one more difference is that the first condition, if it is wrong, while loop and for loop will not work, but do while loop definitely will work. So that is, you can think of the basic difference. There is no complete difference between all three, because you can think of like this, that do while loop is made from while loop only. So the concept has come from there only. So you will not see very much of a difference. But if somebody asks you some differences, you can say these 4 points together so that it clears all the differences. If there is any differences, like for example, in certain cases, you will not find any difference between for and while, but in certain cases, you will find differences between for and do while. So different things are there. So these are some differences which you can find among all the three loops which you have learned. If you have any doubts, even after you have done all the three loops, put down in the comment section. I will try to help you out.